has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast.
Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seat, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City. The Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-up should do be, along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the founder of the ILC podcast, right shoulder, a sheet of integrity, and the put it with the golf guru himself, Carver. Hi this afternoon, ladies. Mafia's running it along with Luke. I am your father. The rundown on a midweek, where do you hurt Wednesday, a double shot with Morency this very hour from British Columbia. And then in the second hour, it's the Prime Minister, Cam Stewart, live from Toronto with Carver High. And then in the third hour, the coup de grace, a double shot with Stewie, Keith Stewart from Read the Line with Carver High. And then a double shot to back it up with Adam Kaplan, busted capping your ass. As we get ready for the NFL draft tomorrow night at Lambeau in Green Bay with SportsGrid's continuing coverage of the NFL draft Thursday and all weekend long on SportsGrid TV and SportsGrid Radio. So we start off on today's show by going back, obviously, last night. We'll do that and hit the NBA games. But there is some Brian Daboll today. I'm watching the Yankees up 4-1 on the Guardians at Progressive in Cleveland. And I know that Judge had his fifth straight hit, whatever it was. I mean, the guy's hitting like 411. He's just going off. Even though they lost the first two games of the series, they're winning today with Rodon on the bump.
Yeah, they certainly are here on a Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, of course, to us on Coast to Coast. 4-1 Yankees, top of the seventh inning in Cleveland. Yankees jumped on the Guardians early, 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Judge missed a homer by half a foot, I guess you could say, on that one part of the wall that goes up, and then right where it goes down there in left center field. Almost had a tater. Instead, he settles for a triple, which did score a run. Goldschmidt with an RBI double. So Judge is 2 for 3 today. He was 4 for 4 last night. He's pumped up to 419 at this very second.
Whoa.
He's 419 he's pumped up to, Aaron Judge. So an unbelievable start to the season. And Goldschmidt's 3 for 4 today. He's 387.
I mean, that is
with
crazy.
3 hits
and everyone
today.
thought that he was washed, including us.
Everyone thought he was washed. Hasn't really given you any power, but he's hitting the ball. He's getting on base, and he's driving and runs. So that's all you could really ask for him in that spot. Rodon has been good today. 6 innings, 4 hits, no run. 1 run, not earned, and 7 Ks for him as we continue on there. Elsewhere, Reds are up 3-2 on the Marlins, top of the 8th inning in Miami. Phillies and Mets tied at 2, top of the 7th at Citi Field. Tigers have a 4-0 lead on the Padres right now in Detroit. And the Braves have all... Labor Day had a homer in the first inning in that game. And the Braves, with a rally late, they were down 1-0 most of the day. They tied it in the 7th, and then Eli White, who hit a 3-run homer for Atlanta, and they ended up winning 4-1 over St. Louis, as they have now climbed themselves to 10-14 on the year. So after that bad start, the Braves still trying to dig themselves out of it, getting themselves a win in the series over the Cardinals. All right, we got other games tonight. Obviously, we will discuss those later. Yes, we do have lots of playoff action that we have to talk about as well, including last night in the NBA where, things kind of went the way we thought they were going to go. You had the 2 big favorites both win. Both are up 2-0 in their series with Indiana and with OKC. And the Lakers do get even, Scotty, with the Timberwolves last night, taking care of business at the Crypto.
Yeah, I thought they, at one point they were up 22. They led by 19 after the first, and I think that set the tone for the night. You saw Redick cussing them out at one point. He's just as intense as ever. Kind of like when he was in playing himself at Duke and in the NBA. He was insane. People didn't like him, and now he's this crazy coach. But it's working. I think they respect him. I think they know that he, has done all this. He's played. He's paid his dues. He's a coach now, and you're either going to do it his way, or I'm sure they'll find an exit door for you in Los Angeles. He's cussing them out, you name it. I thought Luka was incredible, and the thing that stood out to me last night was LeBron, as I told you yesterday. You can't have this guy staying outside, shooting chuck deep threes and one-legged wing dagger threes, and he's got to use his size and strength and muscle to get to the 10. And I thought he was going to the rack a lot last night and getting inside, getting dunks, getting buckets, getting layups, getting easy shots. And it made a big difference. And Reeves played well. They all played well, and they covered and got it done. So I don't think Minnesota saw that coming, and they definitely didn't look good last night compared to the way they looked in game one.
They did not, and that was pretty good. The Mikes did pick that up on that, what was that, an inbound play where Redick just walked out on the floor. He's like, what the Ferrall's going on out here? And started throwing his hands up. That was pretty good. Everyone was, whoa, what's the matter with this guy? Redick was giving him the business over there on the side. So big win for the Lakers, 1-1 going back to Minnesota for a game 3. We have 3 more games tonight. Game 2, Miami-Cleveland. Game 2 in Boston, where it sounds like Tatum's doubtful now for tonight. Do they need Tatum to beat the Magic? I'm not so sure, Sky. Do they really need Jason Tatum to beat the Orlando Magic? Probably not. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, obviously they have guys that can pour it in. I think they'll be fine. I think the key to the game for me is Orlando's defense. Like, they play this, Mosley's got them playing this in-your-face defense. Ultra physical, banging up in your defense. And I think it hurts the Celtics not having him out there. And I think it means that they can focus on even better defense against the guys that are going to try to fill that gap. You're talking about a guy that's going to give you 20-plus automatic, 30-plus realistically in a playoff game. Tatum goes off. So when you lose that, I think that they can center themselves on other problems, like White. They cannot let this guy have 35 points and shoot 7 threes and make them. They got to get in his face. They got to deal with Zinger. They got to deal with all of them. They have so many guys, even Pritchard, the 6th man of the year. They got to deal with all of that. And I think it's less of a anchor on their back that they have to deal with Tatum as well.
RBI double for Austin Wells, 5-1 Yankees, and then a hit by Dominguez. So first and third, 1 out, and the Yankees looking to extend. Warriors Rockets game 2 tonight as well in Houston. Stanley Cup playoffs too. Overtime win for the Leafs. Canes win. The Panthers, they took Kachuk out of the cupboard. He looked just fine to me. And the Wild got a win in Vegas, which was very surprising to me as they came out and jumped them early. We've got more games tonight in hockey. And as you mentioned, the NFL draft is tomorrow night. Let the rumor mill fly all over the place. Lots of rumors. Very exciting stuff
it's just as
we get ready for the draft. It is just fantastic.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Vegas knows how to celebrate. If you're headed to Vegas for your birthday, plan ahead to get all the birthday freebies the city has to offer. Just by showing your ID, you could get free cash play, scratch cards, drinks, and food at various venues on the Strip. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Okay, what tools can you use to measure those things a bit? And that's where you have like force plates and 3D motion and launch monitors, things like that. But that's all just sort of like measuring what's happening. That doesn't necessarily explain why one guy's really good and another guy's not really good. And that's where there's still kind of like this ongoing, how do you like continue to do research to understand that better? And I think that's going to last well past my lifetime.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I'm still optimistic eventually this will happen and they'll get it together. I mean, if Florida can get their act together, Sam, with the tribes, I believe that California can too.
It would bring a lot of money to the tribes, which is also something they really care about. It's an $8 billion market. Conservatively, it could be even more when it legalizes. The sports books would be sharing revenue with the tribes, essentially doing all their operations and forking over a percentage directly to the tribes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
King of the featherweight division for the BKFC. That is King Ty Stewart, who is joining us now, still the champion of the featherweights.
Though he did get dominated, he was still throwing big shots. He landed a lot bigger shots on Palomino than he did me, and I wasn't really impressed. Palomino's getting older. He is definitely a former GOAT. He has done amazing things in this sport, but it's just my time.
Only on SportsGrid.
Catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 East on all of our TV and radio outlets. You get Morency a double shot from Vancouver every day on Coast to Coast. Thank God for that. And last night we had 4 more hockey games. And, I bet on the puck line on both Carolina, and I got the empty netter, and I had the wild puck line plus a goal and a half, hit those. But it was the other 2 games that I want to talk to you about. First of all, Florida blowing out the Lightning, and I lost money on that too. And then I thought the Toronto-Ottawa game got really good.
The Toronto-Ottawa game was old school. Stolars went Billy Smith's style. People are debating, furiously right now whether a penalty should have been called. Listen, that's the way that it used to be in the old days. If you wanted to stand in the crease in front of the net, you had to pay a price for it. Remember Tim Kerr of the Philadelphia Flyers? He used to be a big dude in front of the net, and he used to just get, cross-check, murdered in front of the net. Billy Smith, of course, New York Islander, great goaltender, kind of known as, people talk about Ron Hextall, but Billy Smith set the standard.
He was a butcher.
Yeah, Smith, the Billy the Butcher, exactly. I was a goalie when I was a kid too, Scott, and when I played hockey, and I learned from Billy Smith as well. I had, so I love seeing that last night from Stolars, and basically you take the blade of your stick too, and you get them right in the calf, Scott. There's no protection on the calf. There's no, hockey players don't have protection in the calf area, basically. A little bit of padding now in the modern era, but in the old days, I used to actually practice in my backyard, Scott, hitting the blade of the stick against a tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would practice slashing people. So watching Stolars do that last night, I was like, whoa, this is old school stuff. At the same point in time, hey, they should be allowed to run them as well. But the Battle of Ontario is getting physical, man. They were playing some serious old school hockey last night. It'll be fun in Game 3 in Ottawa. And I was shocked as well, like you, Scott, that the Tampa Bay Lightning got punched in the mouth like they did by the Florida Panthers. Man, this Panther team just dials it up to another level, and it's hard to keep up with them. Tampa better win Game 2. Otherwise, they're in a lot of trouble.
I mean, they just stomped them and scored 6 goals and did whatever they wanted. And I got to tell you, I've heard everyone, you, me, everyone, you name it, Carver High. they've played too much hockey for 3 years. Bro, they looked like the champs last night. They came out and looked like, hey, watch what we can do when we want to do it.
And you know what? They have played a lot of hockey, Scott, but Kachuk hasn't played in forever, right? So he shows up, right? He's been rested. So it actually was almost like a blessing in disguise for them. You know, though, you look at game one, Scott, of the Kings and the Oilers, and it was a similar situation, right? The Kings, and although it was on their home ice, the Kings ambushed the Oilers early, and it was like, dear God, this is insane. We're getting murdered. And the Oilers fought back. They got some momentum back. So we'll sort of see if that carries over into tonight. Tampa never got any momentum back, Scott. You know what I mean? Like a football game. It's like, you know what I mean? You'll see it like, yeah, okay, you'll wonder why they're leaving the starters in. They're losing 34-0. It's like, listen, man, they got to get a touchdown. They got to get something going to get into the practice, to go into next week. The Oilers nearly won the freaking game. So there's a difference to me where the Oilers aren't going to be thinking, yeah, we got murdered in game one. Like, what the hell happened? It's sort of like, yeah, we had a bad start, but everything, we can beat these guys. Tampa's lost in the first round 3 years in a row, man. Like, at some point, you can't just talk about it. You got to do it. But it's one game, Scott. But, man, the Panthers are good. They're just that good. I got to tip my cap to them.
Yeah, and, Reinhardt and Bennett, they had so many different guys, big name guys, producing and doing their thing. It really was unbelievable. And I thought, obviously, Vasilevsky looked terrible. I've never seen him look that bad in a hockey game in my life, ever.
It's going to happen. And it sounds cliche, but it really doesn't matter if you lose 7-1 or you lose 1-0 or if you win, right? The LA Kings, some people are thinking it's a negative that somehow they let the Oilers off the hook and they got the Oilers momentum. They won the game, right? You blew the lead, yeah, but we ended up winning the game. When it's all said and done, they don't ask how. It's just how many games did you win in the series? So one game at a time, but there's, it gets harder to win as games go on in the playoffs, right? Like they always say, the hardest game to win is the last game.
Win, it's harder.
Exactly, Scott. That's why I like the Clippers, right? It was like, damn, you let them off the hook in game one, guys. It's going to be easier to beat Denver in game one or game two in Denver than it is in game 7, right? Or game 5 as the stakes get higher. You want to get those early road wins and get it done. And if you're Tampa, you can't say, oh, we're going to be fine. We're 0-2. No, you're in a lot of trouble if you're 0-2. Like, I don't want to be over dramatic, but they're in a must-win situation in their next game.
So let's talk about tonight. You mentioned Edmonton and LA. It is the late game on TBS at 10 East. And 7 o'clock is Montreal, Washington. 9:30 is Dallas and Colorado. Both of those games are on ESPN. What do you think shakes out tonight?
I really like the cycle, Scott, of these games better. You know what I mean? Like the NCAA tournament, the Thursday, the same teams that play Thursday will play Saturday. And the same teams that play Friday will play Sunday. And, I usually like one of them more. I'm like, yeah, this is the one. Like, that's good. And we all knew, we said over the weekend, the Canadiens and Capitals, Kings and Oilers, that's sort of the fun night to me. And not that the others, some of the other series are going to be good, but tonight I think we're going to have another great game, man, between the Kings and Oilers. I'm going to go with the Kings once again. I like the Kings to win the series. We're getting the Kings basically, and it's going to be a pick 'em or they're going to be an underdog basically throughout the entire when they go on the road here. I'm going to go back to the Kings that they understand how important they need this. But it's going to be a one-goal game. I mean, let's be real. This is going to be a toss-up game tonight. The Oilers are going to throw the kitchen sink at the Kings early tonight. But I like this King team. I like their resolve. They've only lost 6 times, guys, in regulation all year on their home ice. It's a dominant home ice. I think they're going to defend it tonight.
When we come back, we'll ask him who he likes in the Canadiens game in D.C. And the Dallas series now shifts to the Ball Arena in the Mile High City.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats typically in your direction if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
11 times now without a major, 14 times at the Masters. He finally has the green jacket. Rory McIlroy.
The best sporting event so far this year. It's better than the Super Bowl. It was better than the NCAA tournament. It had ups and downs. It had roller coaster rides. It had history, legacies. It had everything you could ever possibly want.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're talking to Morency, and the Canadians came back and tied that game one and lost in overtime on the Ovi goal. They're going at it again tonight at the Capital One Center in D.C., and now the other series shifts to Denver with Dallas and the Avs. And let's face facts, that second game in Dallas was kick-ass. It went 17-46 into overtime before the Stars even the series. What do you think happens in these two puppies tonight?
Let's start off in the nation's capital. That was a great hockey game between the Canadians and the Capitals. I'm expecting pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw in game one. Now, I'm not saying the Canadians are going to be down 2-0, but I think, we could have overtime tonight. It's going to be super close. In game one, I took the Canadians on the money line at plus 165. We lost that bet, but we took them plus 1.5 on the spread. And it was like minus 160. Tonight, I see it's 170 right now. So it's starting to get up there a little bit. But
right.
I'm going to do the exact same thing I did in game one. I'm going to take the Canadians to win the game, and I'm going to take the Canadians plus 1.5 goals tonight in this game. The Canadians can play with the Capitals, right? The Canadians, like I said, they've been the hotter team over the last couple of months that Washington has. So this isn't a traditional sort of 1 versus 8 type of situation. All right, like the Canadians have players, man. They got young stars. They've got a couple of vets that have played in big games before. Their style of play matches up well with Washington, as we saw. They have to dial up the physicality a little bit tonight, or at least take advantage when they're on the power play. But I think it's going to be a really fun game tonight, Scott. And I think, like I said, maybe the Capitals win the game tonight, but I don't think they're going to roll them. So I'll take the 1.5. I think, Colorado are not a deep team. They're a little bit deeper after the trade, actually, but they're very top-heavy, Colorado. So when things are going well for them, and, we saw in game one, I'm not going to say they're front runners, Scott, but, when things are going well for them, they look unbeatable. But they have a lot of flaws, the Avalanche, right? They have a lot of star players, but not everybody's great on the team, and it shows at times. But I think they're going to be too much for Dallas in this series due to Dallas's injuries. I don't fully trust Ottinger as much as I used to really think, he was this and that, but in the playoffs, he sort of hits a wall all the time. It's a high price at minus 190, guys, but I think the Avs are going to get it done tonight. So Canadians plus 150. Avs minus 190. LA Kings minus 125 for me tonight.
All right, so I want to ask you what you think of the NBA tonight. At the very least, the Golden State-Houston game. That's the late game on TNT at the Toyota Center. They lost game 1 by 10 to the Dubs. They're laying 3.5 tonight, 204.5.
You know, Scott, I like this NBA card from a betting perspective, and I'm going to smash the Heat and Cavs game, but we'll get to that in a second. The Warriors and Rockets, what am I missing here? And I'll put my hand up. I was stupid enough to take Houston in game 1 because I'm a moron. All right? Dude, I think we're sleeping on the Golden State Warriors. You and I have given a lot of love to the Clippers, and I think rightfully so, man. We saw what Kawhi did the other night, guys. You know, the Clippers are the real deal, but this Warrior team, you know, not similar to the Clippers, Scott, but you've got young players. You've got guys like in a clutch situation. We saw it in the Olympics. People talk about best players and this and that. In a clutch situation in a big game, I want Steph Curry on the floor for me, right? Jimmy Butler, say what you will about him. The guy's a baller. And in a competitive situation, I trust these guys more than if Thompson shows up, if Van Fleet hits some shots tonight. I don't, and I was wrong last night about the bounce back with the Lakers and the T-Wolves. I said, it's too high. They ended up winning by 9. I just can't lay to 3.5 tonight, guys, with the Rockets. I think the Warriors are going to win this series. But, guys, I think this is flying under the radar. It was 212. It's 213 right now. The Miami Heat are becoming an over team. In the post-Jimmy Butler era, Scott, they pushed the pace, bro. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games to the over. The Cavaliers and the Heat are 7-3 to the over the last 10 times they played. They're 5-1 to the over the last 6 times they've gone head-to-head.
I like that.
I think this number's too light, Scott, at 212, 213. Give me the over in the Heat Cavs tonight.
And what about Orlando-Boston?
I think Boston's going to cover. I think it's, Orlando might hang around and stuff, but I think Boston are going to be better actually today, Scott, than they were in game 1. They hadn't played a little while, a real game and stuff. I think they dial it up tonight. I'll lay the points with the Celtics.
Wow, unbelievable. All right, have a great show and enjoy all the playoff games tonight, 6 of them.
Go Habs, go.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one? Because you're so far out of the West, do you get rid of Booker? Because D-Book will bring you far more in a return.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
11 times now without a major, 14 times at the Masters. He finally has the green jacket. Rory McIlroy.
The best sporting event so far this year. It's better than the Super Bowl. It was better than the NCAA tournament. It had ups and downs. It had roller coaster rides. It had history, legacies. It had everything you could ever possibly want.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
right, so the Lakers last night got even in their series at the Crypt with the T-Wolves, outplayed them like we said earlier, and Luka and LeBron had it all going.
They certainly did have it all going last night. The Lakers end up evening the series 94-85, low-scoring game. You mentioned the Lakers had some distance in the first half. Timberwolves closed the gap in the second half, but as it got a little bit closer, it was time for LeBron to get involved on TNT.
Hey, Wolves have it. Edwards on the move. LeBron stole the ball. James with the ball. Pyle drives inside. What a play by LeBron. The steal and the two.
I mean, the double-double, 21-11. He did everything. He did nothing in game one and did it all in game two. If this guy, I think he shows up every night, but he didn't play well in game one. In game two, he played great. And then you would think that as the series gets more intense, he's going to get more involved.
Yeah, 21-11, 31-12-9 for Luka, as he had himself a big night as well. Reeves had 16 for the Lakers. Edwards with 25 in the loss. Randall had a pretty good game too. But you notice, it wasn't all about the threes. We said that the other day. But big difference when you hit 21 threes and you hit 5. You hit 5. The Timberwolves only hit 5 threes. They were 5 for 25 from downtown in that game. And part of that was the physicality. J.J. Redick wanted to see the Lakers play a more physical brand of basketball. He got that in game number 2.
We were very physical tonight, as were they.
What do you think, adjustment-wise, what was something that you felt like worked for you guys as you held them to in the low 80s in points?
Again, we were physical. I think, playoffs require a different level. And like I said pregame, it took us about 2.5 quarters in game one to get to that level of physicality.
Well, they just took away the 3. I thought they knew they got roasted in game 1 by the 3, so they weren't going to die on the vine again. So I thought they stretched their defense and played physical on the perimeter all over the band. And I just thought that that was the difference in the game. And then, when you think about Luka, it really is incredible. It's fascinating to me that he's averaged over 30 points a game in the playoffs. And he did it again. Like, didn't he? This is the second straight game over 30. And only Michael Jordan's done it. So there's only 2 guys that have ever done it in history, in the entire history of the NBA, have averaged 30 plus in the playoffs. And it's just amazing to me that it's Luka Doncic with Michael Jordan and nobody else has ever done it. That is stunning to me. That is amazing. So, and don't tell me for 1 second that he doesn't know it. He goes out every night. He wants 30 plus. That's what he goes out to do every night. He's like, I need 30 buckets. I need 30 points no matter what. That's what he does. Guys, you hear these guys all the time. I don't care about stats. My ass. They don't care about stats. When they know they're the only 2 guys that have ever done it, he's out there trying to keep it that way. Believe me, you.
And think about somebody, traded him a few months ago. It's just amazing to think about that. He just, let's trade him.
And that guy says that he's done a great job.
He's done a great job. He's done a really great job. I'm sure.
I have never seen a more bumbling idiot in my life in sports that actually thinks he's done a good job when he did that deal. He did it straight 1 for 1. That was really amazing when you think about it. That he traded that guy for Anthony Davis, peanut brittle. And how many times since he made the trade, Davis went down twice. He went down once for a month and a half. And then in the playoffs, in the game that they got eliminated, he was hobbling to the bench and had to leave that game too. Always peanut brittle, always crippled, always injured. There's no denying he's incredible when he plays. And, in my opinion, he just doesn't play enough to trade Luka Doncic for.
Does not play enough indeed. As this goes back to Minnesota, for a Game 5. Right now for the series, it's pretty even with basically a 5-game series now, and 3 of those games being in mini. Lakers, there it is actually, even, minus 108. Both sides here for the Lakers and the T-Wolves going forward.
Yeah, I actually think that they're going to have problems in Minneapolis at Target. I do. I think the T-Wolves are going to be hard to beat in that building.
Well, they don't play again until Friday now, so they had 2 days off, and they'll play Friday night.
Just to get a vacation in. They're very tired. LeBron needs some extra time for his, work on his body, maybe a cold tub splash, the whole deal.
-3 for Minnesota, the early Game 3 line for Friday night. So the Timberwolves 3-point favorites.
I'll lay that 3 ahead of time here. I'll lay that 3. I like them. And remember, I took Minnie in the series, and I had the Lakers last night, laid the 5.5, and hit that. I think they're going to lose at the Target in Game 3.
Did you like, last thing for this series, did you like that FedEx that Anthony Edwards got was that a worthy FedEx when he yelled in that crowd?
Tell fans that you have a bigger package than them, and then grab your package while you're doing it on national television. As you like to say, it is clearly frowned upon. We do not engage in that type of behavior here on SportsGrid. We are always trying to be classy. Stay classy, San Diego.
Elsewhere last night, Pacers beat the Bucks 123-115. Big night for the Pacers. Of course, the Bucks, kind of like the Timberwolves, they came back in this one. They were down big, had a chance in the fourth, but Pacers pull away late. Andrew Nembhard with the 3 that iced it, NBA TV.
Nembhard, 5 on the shot clock. Nembhard hoists it. Nembhard, huge 3.
I got to tell you a couple things here, not so much from the Pacers side. I thought they just played Pacer ball. I thought they did what they always do, and I thought they looked good. What my problem is how bad the Bucks look. They do not apparently understand that this is the playoffs. They are not showing up for games. They are losing games, in my opinion, in the first half, in the first quarter. They are coming out as if it's, November or December. Like they literally aren't even getting into the game until it's too late. I thought Bobby Portis played well. I thought that Dame Time played like Shaq. You cannot tell me 2 of 8 from downtown. He was chucking 30-footers, and they were all iron. He was off his game for certain. The only guy that shows up automatic is Giannis. The whole game's about Giannis. And then Bobby Poe gave him a big night. If they don't get the 28 from Portis, they lose by 25.
Yeah, I mean, Lillard looked like a guy who hadn't played in a month. That's what he looked like in his 37 minutes. He was 4 for 13 from the floor last night for them. Giannis really did show up. He had 34 and 18. He was excellent. He's got 70 points, 30 boards, and 8 dimes in the first 2 games of this series. The last player to reach those numbers in the first 2 games of the playoffs was Wilt Chamberlain in 1967. When we come back, I'll let you know what he's thinking as we get closer to Game 3 in Milwaukee. And I've got Rick Carlisle for you. Man, he didn't like that poll. He didn't like that poll with Halliburton being the most overrated player.
Whatever.
He was a fan of it.
You know what he did like? Is that all 5 of his starters were in double figures. They move it around and everybody eats. They're just so much better in Milwaukee, it's not even funny.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're going to trade Durant, right, it means things are getting weird anyway. Teams are going to, before they go for Durant, they're going to go for Devin Booker. That's just the reality of it.
You get rid of Durant, or do you do the crazy one because you're so far out of the West? Do you get rid of Booker because D-Book will bring you far more in a return?
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
11 times now without a major, 14 times at the Masters. He finally has the green jacket. Rory McIlroy.
The best sporting event so far this year. It's better than the Super Bowl. It was better than the NCAA tournament. It had ups and downs. It had roller coaster rides. It had history, legacies. It had everything you could ever possibly want.
Ferrall, coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so what did Giannis have to say after another fail?
Another fail, obviously, by his team, not by him. He is well aware of what he needs to do when he gets back to Milwaukee. Here's Giannis.
My mindset right now is game 3. I know the deal, man. I just know the deal. I know what I got to do.
He knows what he's got to do. He knows the deal. We'll see.
Well, I mean, duh. They gotta win. I mean, no questions asked. I mean, they have to play. You know, they have played the most inept basketball, I think, of any. Memphis and Milwaukee both look like twins. They're so awful. I mean, they look. The Grizzlies are finished already, and then this Milwaukee team hasn't shown up to play playoff basketball. They just played like they had a game that night.
They certainly didn't. And look, I don't know what he's like. I know what to do. Like, he's done everything, and they still got their ass beat both games. Like, he's got 70 points in 2 games. Like, what? What was he going to score 70 alone in game 3? Like, what does he think he's going to do? Like, he can't do it all by himself, and the stories have started. When they crash out here in the first round, I saw the net guys in the New York Post today. Giannis has businesses in New York. The Nets are going to put the full court press on. Blah, 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 blah. It's all going to start for Giannis and Milwaukee.
It already has.
Once they get eliminated here. As far as that dopey thing, I saw Halliburton talk about it too. He didn't really care that he was voted the most overrated player in the league. Rick Carlisle, though, his head coach, on the other hand, he was a little bit more aggressive about it, I guess you could say.
I heard about this, and the other guys on the list were Jimmy Butler and Giannis. Right? And I want to see the guys' faces that voted those guys. I want to see the faces of those guys. All right? This is a poll. Not everybody even answered in the poll. All right? Guys were able to answer if they wanted to. They were asked on camera or with a microphone. The whole thing's okay? And it's just it's really a shameful thing. It's just a shameful thing. All right? Jimmy Butler would be a finalist for MVP if he had gotten to Golden State a month and a half earlier. I mean, what that guy's done. And Giannis, are you kidding me? I'm done. Thank you.
I'm done. Thanks. That's enough. I'm out of here.
They have to go to the press conference. They have to answer questions. So at least he went off on that. But look, the deal is this, is that Halliburton can play. There's no denying that he can play. There's also no denying that nobody likes him.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. He doesn't seem to be very well liked around the league for whatever reason.
Well, eventually, someone's going to take your head off. You know eventually someone's going to get you, because if they don't like you, someone's finally going to just take you out.
Wasn't he involved in something else again last night, where he was like hiding behind behind the ref, and he was drawing? Yeah, he gets into a lot of drawing.
He's not painful like Draymond Green painful. He's just a cocky dude that thinks he's better than he is.
Yeah, he's a different level of painful. I don't even find him painful, to be quite honest with you. It just seems like he's always drawn with somebody on the court. And he tries to let his game back it up.
He's got no rings.
Elsewhere.
So, this is another theory. If you don't have rings, shut up.
You got to have rings if you're going to talk. Got to have rings. All right. On the third game last night, the Thunder beat the Grizzlies 118-99. It seemed like the Grizzlies were going to hang around in the third quarter. They held the Thunder to the least amount of points they scored, and they got to, I think it was 9 was the closest that Memphis got late in the third. But unfortunately, the Grizzlies let go of the rope. SGA throwing dimes to Dort for the three.
Entire game.
So the lead now 15. Pippen Jr. trying to stay with SGA. Doubled up. Out to Dort from deep. That's good.
I actually, obviously it shifts to the FedEx in Memphis, right? So you'd think that they'd get a game. I definitely think the Thunder, not only can they win both games there, they're definitely winning one of them. They're not losing 2 in a row to this team, because all you need to do is watch. They're so much better than them. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I don't think that they will. I don't think they're going to go back to Oklahoma City. I think it's completely over with. I just don't see. I don't see the resistance coming from. SGA hasn't even had good games, and they blew him out both times.
Right.
He barely even played, and they've beat their ass in both games. So he had 27 last night. That sounds like a big game. For him, it's not. A big game for him is 35
game for him.
He had 15 in game 1. He had 27 in game 2. He's done nothing, and they're up 2-0. Chet Holmgren had 20 with 11 boards and 5 blocks. Your boy Abe Lincoln getting involved. The Thunder, of course, will now go to Memphis. They will play game 3 tomorrow night there on Beale Street, where Oklahoma City is already an 8.5-point road favorite. So you're getting almost cut in half. 8.5 for them to go on the road. So it's under 10.
I think it's. I think it's doable. They are. They don't care where they play. They do not care. They don't get involved in oh God, we're on the road. Imagine this. They're just flat out balling. They know that they can annihilate you in the first half and just be done with it by halftime. Teams make runs like the Knicks make a run and they still lose. Everyone makes runs in the NBA. The whole league is, you'd think it was nothing but runs. The game's all about runs. And, it's a little different to me than college basketball. I don't see that as much in college basketball as I do in the pros. They're on a 21-0 run. They're on and then, look at Memphis coming back at single digits, and they still got whacked by 19. Shut up. The announcers try to keep you on the broadcast. Don't turn the channel. It's getting good now. We're going to the 4th. It's so juicy. No, it isn't. Those games were horrible. Both of them.
Here's a tip. Some machines and online games have higher average payouts than others. Want to try to maximize your odds? Well, do some research online to find games which have the highest RTP or return to player percentage. So now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
They're so close that we're barely going to be getting any value on the plus side of things. I think there's a little bit of value on the Blue Jays today, but it's an awesome division. Like, I don't want to see teams running away and be up by 12 games in first place. We want to see teams constantly battling for first place.
They hit a team total. I love that. So as many times as we get bad beats, you do get the same amount of good beats, typically in your direction, if you wait long enough.
Pro Baseball today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 18.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So the Yankees won, and then I'm watching now Arsenal at the half up 2-1 on Palace. Another Premier League offering today at Arsenal. So I did nail that Peyton Pritchard, right? Like, six man. There's no one more impressive to me that comes off the bench in the NBA than this little guy. I mean, it is unbelievable. And he's really turned into a hell of a player. He can shoot deep. He drives, he creates, he dishes, he gets his teammates buckets. I just think he's a hell of a player. I hate that he's on the Celtics, but I definitely thought he'd be the sixth man, and he was.
He won in a rout, too. He got 82 of the 100 first-place votes. So it wasn't even close for him winning the sixth man of the year. Of course, Beasley finished second, and Ty Jerome finished third in the voting for the sixth man. Tonight, they will give out the Clutch Player of the Year.
Very
which,
clutch.
Of course, we said last week was Brunson, Ant, and Joker. I'm still not sure what the criteria is there to being a clutch player, but they are going to give that out.
It's got to be, for me, Joker. The guy hits full-length court shots at the buzzer. Let's just face facts. Brunson's a ball hog. He plays by himself. He doesn't see anybody else. He just constantly taking shots, deep, disastrous shots. I won't deny he's fantastic, but he's not more clutch than the Joker. You got to be kidding me. The guy has a triple-double every single night. He hits half-court, full-court shots. When do you ever see him miss a shot is what I want to know. When do you see him actually miss a shot? Like, mid-range, elbows, threes, hooks, they all go in. He's the most clutch player in the NBA, bar none, not even close. Brunson will have 37 and he'll miss 20 shots.
And how about this for Joker, too? Some of these numbers. These are in his career, in just the playoffs. Forget about the ridiculous stats he's got in the regular season. Let's keep it just to the playoffs for a moment. He's got more career points per game in the playoffs than Kobe, Steph, Giannis, Embiid, and Shaq. He's got more rebounds per game in the playoffs than Shaq, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kevin Garnett, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's got more assists per game in the playoffs than LeBron, Harden, Westbrook, Frazier, or Bird. Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty
he's
good.
clutch.
All three categories. Joker fills it up with when it comes to the playoffs.
He's literally one of the
Pretty
greatest
good.
players that have ever played the game.
He is. There's no denying it. He absolutely is. They'll play the Clippers tomorrow night in Game 3 at the Intuit Dome. Clippers -4.5, the early line in that game on Thursday
I
night.
like the Clippers at home. I really do. And can you imagine if that guy left Denver and he played some? Can you believe if that, like, because they've already done everything else. They fired Malone. They've since they won that title, they have butchered that team like no other. What's the next dumb move they're going to make? They're going to get rid of this guy? I wouldn't let that guy even go home to Serbia for the summer if I ran that team. I'd say, bring your horses here. There's got to be a track
never
around
come
here.
back.
Yeah, he might never
come back.
Can you imagine if that guy literally, I hate to say it, God forbid, if he played in Boston, they'd win 10 straight titles.
God forbid, as you just said, for that. Of course, and the Knicks and Pistons will get back going tomorrow night in Detroit. We've been doing a lot of that overrated with Tyrese Halliburton. Cade Cunningham was the most underrated player in that same poll. Cade Cunningham, underrated. Not after this year.
I would agree with that. He's, has been underrated. Those days are over. Now he's just a flat-out badass. I think he's what I like about his game the most is how he goes to the rack. I mean, this guy goes to the glass and to the tin like no other in the NBA. The only person, because for my money, Ant Edwards shoots a lot deep. He shoots a lot of deep shots. Now, Cunningham can make those shots, but he always prefers driving and getting it at, close range. I've always said off the glass and at the rim is high percentage basketball. The closer you get to the 10, the more the shots fall. And that's the way I play. I play under the basket, and I go back and forth from side to side looking for finger rolls. I make a bunch of them because that's the easiest shot in basketball. Layups, kisses, finger rolls, dunks. These guys shooting 35-footers. It's low percentage. These guys get excited. They shoot 35%. That's ass to me.
Fantasy baseball. Let's be honest, George. There's a lot of things antiquated about this game that we love. Man, I would love to try some new little wrinkles here. And so for Sam's question here on the show, I think it's at least fair to ask the question with catchers in fantasy baseball. And sometimes we're playing in 2 catcher leagues. Why at this stage of the game? I have no idea. If you're still doing it, you're behind in the times. Buy or sell, catchers should get a fantasy point for throwing out runners trying to steal. So essentially awarding a defensive play to get an offensive point in fantasy. You gonna buy or sell this?
I mean, so this never even crossed my mind. I hate the catcher position because they get hurt so much. You play in a 2-catcher league, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, what are we doing here? There are not 24, assuming a 12-team league, there are not 24 catchers to draft in baseball. There's just not. Although I'm the first person to tell you, Herrera's probably out there in a bunch of leagues there because we didn't see that power coming. Should he get a point? I think if you're going to do this, by the way, why a point? What are you throwing out? 1, 2 base runners a week? It's 2 points. Who cares? Shouldn't it be more? I mean, if we're going to do this, shouldn't we do it right? Shouldn't it be 5 points? So I would probably go that direction. If you're going to do it right. Give it more points. And by the way, then let's go further. You make an error, you're losing points. No one gets an error anymore. All right, if you get an error, it means you really screwed up. I was watching that Yankee-Pittsburgh game yesterday because I think it was who cares? Somebody hit the ball hard to Isaiah Felifa at shortstop. He didn't have to move, but he dropped it. They called it a hit because he hit the ball hard with 3-hopper. Oh, hard hit, error. So let's do that too. So yeah, I'm kind of on board with this, but you need more than one. It can't just be a point that's meaningless. You need more than one.
Fantasy sports today. Weekends starting at 8 a.m. Only on SportsGrid.